Today, I mark the 10-year anniversary of owning Mercedes diesels, as well as the conception of the Hoopty fleet. The first car I ever bought with my own money was a 1985 Mercedes 300D in 2007.
My 1985 Mercedes 500 SL and a few other vehicles before that were gifts from relatives. At 21 years of age, I flew out to Colorado to purchase this 123 chassis code turbo diesel, and it was a basket case. The vacuum system was completely knackered, which controls many things with Mercedes of this era, including how the transmission shifts, the power locks, and even shutting off the car. This meant I had to raise the hood and push an emergency shutoff lever each time I needed to turn the engine off. This was fine until the hood latch broke, making popping the hood a massive chore. The car also didn't have air conditioning, and I just about died driving it across the Great Plains on that summer, trying to get it back from Colorado to Kansas. I remember buying an ice cream cone at a gas station just to try and cool off, and it melted before I was done merging on the highway. Exacerbated, I tried throwing it out the window, but at 75 miles an hour, most of it flew back in, hitting me in the face. This was my introduction to automotive masochism, as well as the genesis of the Hoopty fleet. After sorting out that first 300D, I found a sky blue 1980 diesel wagon in a barn in Leon, Kansas, and brought it home for only $900. I fixed a few things and quickly sold it for $3,500, and that sent me into the downward spiral to where I'm at now. Over the next decade, I've owned more than 20 Mercedes diesels, and after having nearly every generation from the late 60s to the mid 2000s, I know what my favorite Mercedes diesel is. This big S-Class from the 1980s with the older inline 5-cylinder turbo diesel engine. It's like these cars were built from the same material as Thor's hammer, and were modern enough not to feel old, but still with that timeless classic styling. I bought the absolute nicest one I could find, a one-owner car with the most complete service records you have ever seen. Right down to their purchase decision notes, temporary permit, and this amazing Mercedes salesman's business card made from very 80s fake gold. Even being this nice, I spent more than $10,000 sorting it to make it like new and make it my dream car. The biggest expense was converting it to a 4-speed manual transmission, and I spent another couple grand on these deep dish, period correct Lawrence Arello wheels. To me, it's the perfect Mercedes diesel, but I never drive it anymore. I assumed I was going to keep this thing forever, but before today, it's only been out once in the last 3 months. I'm always going to favor my Porsche 911 or the Acura NSX for a fun drive, and really quit caring about the 300 SD. And after 10 years, I just realized that I've grown out of Mercedes dieseling. Despite knowing all the ins and outs and obsessing about them forever, the flame has just gone out. So after a decade, I've decided to get out of them altogether. I will be putting my 300 SD up for sale, and it will likely be the last one to ever be in Hoovie's garage. There's only one modern diesel that appeals to me, and I've owned several of them, but they are already over a decade old. This is a 2005 Mercedes E320 CDI, which I'm borrowing from a friend here, and I wanted to show you what the best Mercedes diesel ever made is like. This may look like a normal E-Class on the outside, but under the hood is an incredible inline-6 turbo diesel engine. I bet you never expected a Mercedes diesel to break the tires loose, but this thing is actually faster than the E320 gasoline sedan of the day, and it's still faster than any new Mercedes diesel that Mercedes offers. It has something like a 6.5 second 0 to 60, which is really, really impressive. And it's just because it's the last of the old school inline-6 turbo diesel engine. After that 2006 Mercedes diesel, things went downhill from there. In an effort to meet more stringent emission requirements, diesel engines became smaller, slower, and infinitely more complicated. New Mercedes diesels have eliminated the spare tires to make more space for a second tank full of fluid just to keep the exhaust clean. And when that tank malfunctions or runs out, even though the vehicle will run perfectly fine without it, the computer tells it not to start. What a crock! With technology from diesels being fully embraced with gasoline cars such as direct injection and turbochargers, it doesn't make much sense to buy a diesel in the United States anymore. A few years ago, I would have slapped myself for saying that, but now I accept reality.
Kansas wind strikes again.
I could just keep it in storage as a shrine to the past, but I've never been the type of guy to let a car sit. I could also use the funds to make other bad purchase decisions, or maybe, but probably not, take a bite out of the debt incurred from my current Hoopty fleet. But that would probably be too responsible for me. Selling a Mercedes diesel is always a chore, as you'll never meet a more persnickety group of enthusiasts who are so cheap they will ask for a Mercedes-Benz Club discount at the dollar store. I'm going to take a huge bath on this thing, but for me, I think the most important thing is finding the right home. But why do I really care? I guess I don't anymore, or do I? Should I just keep it and save the frustration and inevitable regret of selling it? I don't know. I guess I'm going to stop things here and continue my rambling thoughts from my idiotic brain and detail a lot more about my Mercedes-Benz diesel history in my autotrader.com/oversteer column, which is linked below. Ellie, Daddy wants to sell this green car. Should I sell it or keep it?
Sell it.
Why?
Because it looks ugly.
It looks ugly?
Yeah, because I don't like the wheels.
1985 Mercedes 300D 0 to 60 time. Bear with me, this may take a while. I'll turn the stereo off this time. Oh, I'll buckle my seatbelt.